Hi everyone, welcome to Amy Star Spiritual Journeys 520. Today let's talk about the 12 reasons why hitting rock bottom is the best thing that can ever happen to you. Hitting rock bottom is really painful. I know that because I just 2 days ago I just felt like that, like I've just hit the rock bottom, something like that, because I had an old channel and it was just suddenly closed. Not only that, I had another channel as well, and that channel also was closed, and I couldn't understand how. I just I applied for answers, but nobody is giving me any answers as yet. Anyway, let's talk about 12 reasons why hitting rock bottom can be the best thing that can ever happen to anyone. The ability for anyone to be able to fly is in direct proportion to their willingness and courage to face their version of rock bottom. So let's get into it. 1. You get to have reflection and realization. At the bottom, when you realize just how far off course you are, and that your life choices were simply not sustainable. It's in those dark moments of despair that your anger and frustration become so great, and you declare once and for all to never again accept such mediocrity from yourself or from others. 2. You start seeing your dysfunctional behaviors. At the bottom, all your dysfunctional behaviors are finally revealed. If you never hit your lowest point, the dysfunctions continue to go unnoticed and unchecked, playing out under the denial radar and inevitably creating bigger dysfunctions and a harder fall down the track. Until the bubble bursts, you cleverly delude yourself into thinking everything is just great, and your life ends up being built on a big fat lie and a false foundation. 3. You start gaining fresh perspective. Hitting rock bottom is the beginning of questioning everything that you've ever thought to be true. You question your motives, you question other people's motives, you question your beliefs, you question your fears, and why you did things the way you did, why you didn't do things the way you didn't, why you attracted certain people and circumstances. And you also start questioning why you succeeded, why you failed. And the very fabric of your life is turned upside down and examined in raw detail. It's from this point that you build again from the ground up with a fresh perspective based on your renewed sense of clarity. The next one, 4. You start having self-awareness of bad habits and behaviors. At the bottom, your disempowering patterns and behaviors become glaringly obvious, and the triggers that kept you repeating those behavior patterns come into sharp focus. You realize that hitting rock bottom was not only inevitable but necessary, because those behaviors were simply not conducive to your growth. On top of that, and perhaps most importantly, all the roles you'd been playing pop into your conscious awareness. It becomes clear that you've been a kind of puppet, playing the same role over and over again, creating the same dynamics over and over again, and keeping the drama going over and over and over again, like a well-paid actor in a soap opera. It's not until you break the mold and start the journey back to your true self that you stop playing those old scratched records and begin to create new conscious outcomes. The next thing that you will notice is 5, is trusting in life. You realize at the bottom that you were, in fact, not where you thought you were in life. You let your ego run the show with grandiose ideas about what you could do, not knowing you didn't yet have the foundation to successfully accomplish those things. Ego's death grip loosens when you come to this realization. You start to trust life and choose to live in the moment more often. As you surrender to your higher self more and more, you align with your right purpose and right life path, and it feels good. And the other thing that you might get to notice is 6, humility. You gain humility. You see that life is not black and white and that you don't know everything. In fact, you realize you know very little and you decide to become a student of life rather than a juror. Because when you're observing, it's different from when you are experiencing. And 7, you start having compassion. You gain compassion. You understand what it's like for people in the depths of despair, shame, guilt, and fear. You can't help but come back from the bottom feeling immense empathy with the human condition. And that's something really good. 8, you start letting go. You're able to let go of everything because nothing is working anyway. Letting go of the old creates space for the new, and soon new ideas, people, opportunities, talents, and gifts start to flood into your experience. As you empty your cup, so to speak, you fill it back up with stuff that you actually want, instead of accepting what was unconsciously passed on to you. Life hands you a fresh cup of reality. And then after that, you start taking responsibility. That's the 9th one. After you've hit the bricks, you, perhaps for the first time, begin to accept full responsibility for all the outcomes in your life. You see that blaming is fertile, that complaining is dumb, and that making excuses is for the unenlightened. You realize it was you who created all the good and all the bad in your life. You dug the hole in which you are trapped, and only you can dig yourself out of it in order to finally become whole. And then you realize, 10, the only way is up. The good news is, once you've hit rock bottom, you know you can't possibly go any lower. You realize the bottom is actually a great springboard from which to push yourself up to the surface, away from the darkness and back into the light. And then 11, you start trusting yourself. Hitting rock bottom wakes you up to how you were relying on externals to make you happy. Instead of needing outside validation, you begin to trust yourself and start the journey within to find your own sense of self, your own sense of purpose, and your own validation. This new inner sanctuary becomes the foundation for your happy and meaningful new life. And last but not the least, 12, you start having gratitude. And finally, after hitting your lowest point, you become enormously grateful for all that you have from that time forward. You're sure that your situation can only get better from here, and it does. Simple things like a smile from a stranger, fresh food in the fridge, warm clothes on your body, a comfy bed, your good health become things to treasure. Your existence is a constant prayer of gratitude to the universe and to yourself for having the courage to move beyond hard times and choose life when you could have chosen a number of other options just to make the pain go away. The gems mined in your darkest moments are what give you depth, courage, wisdom, and richness that can't be learned anywhere else. Your ability to fly is in direct proportion to your willingness and courage to face your version of rock bottom. If you've ever been there and bounced back to tell the story, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're currently sitting on rock bottom and still chafing your behind, you're probably cursing this post. But as someone who's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt, I can tell you that in years to come, you will appreciate the experience and the chafing as well as the best thing that ever happened to you. Only once you are willing to explore your darkest depths can you truly be of service in the world. Only when the old foundations crumble can you begin to build again on new and solid ground. This is the gift of rock bottom. Aim for it. And yeah, that's almost the 12 reasons why hitting rock bottom is the best thing that can ever happen to you. So next time, when you feel like you're in remorse or you feel like you've lost something, remember it is something which it is one of the best things that could have ever happened to you, and use it to your advantage. Have a good day and take care. God bless.